and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. I need to get my squares spare storage sorted. So if you've been watching sort of my spare storage videos that have gone up recently, I created a new box because my spares are expanding. So I created the foam in a new standard box in one video. In another video, I did get all my rounds transferred. So this was my original box. This has just rounds now rather than rounds and squares. Because I think it will be easier when dekitting to have them split. So all the bags for my squares are currently in a lovely Amazon box. I have my 2 boxes for rounds, which is great, and I have all my squares in here. However, I do have a square painting that I need to dekit. I can't get it dekitted until I've got my squares box ready. So I need to make a start. Now, I did decide to go for the black labels again. I know it's the same. We do them in multiple different colours, but I like the black. So I'm going for the black. Even though, because I think my other one would have potentially been green, but it doesn't quite work as well with this box. And I do use green on my Heaven and Earth Designs one. So I've decided to go for black. And the first box that I did actually was using the cut yourself DMC labels, because it was way back when. So I get to use the already cut ones this time, which is now the only ones we sell, which is so much easier. So I have all these labels that I need to do. And what I have done, a sort of mini prep, is I have cut some more pieces of foam. So in the first video you will have seen me cut these pieces of foam, and I put a little sticker over the top just to get rid of that foam look, really, to make it a little bit nicer when I created the box. But what I do also like to do is show the division in hundreds, 200s, etc. So just to show you, in my rounds box I have 100s, 200s, 300s and so on. Makes it a whole lot easier when it comes, you know, to dekitting and looking for a number. Now, I only had 1 sheet of white foam board available. I had more in black, but I only had 1 in white. So I've cut what I can. I'm going to get as far as I can with them. So before I sort those, I need to sort these. So I thought I would keep this on video because it hasn't necessarily been shown already. But what I do is I use some double-sided tape. It's the first step. Let me find a pair of scissors. So double-sided tape, and I stick 2 pieces of foam board together. So I want these wider than my original set, because I am going to put a sticker on the top to say that it's the 100s, 200s, etc. So I put some double-sided tape on. So much easier to get the covers off when you use scissors to cut it, and obviously last time I used it I just ripped it. Now, my cutting isn't necessarily the straightest, so I go as straight as I can. So that is now going to be a divider for the 100 or 200. And I've only got enough to do 5 dividers until I manage to get to the range to get some more foam board, which this house is crazy, so it has not been happening yet. And then I'm going to cut some stickers to go over the top, and just to make it prettier, a bit like the dividers are already. And then once that is done, I can start putting stickers on cardstock. So I do have a pile of cardstock here. It's not packaged as nicely, as of course orders are packed and go out, because I didn't see the point in packing it to then unpack it. While I'm here, it was easier to just grab the cardstock separately, straight out of a box. So I'm just going to keep sticking. So that's 3 done. I've only got 2 more to do, and that's the first stage of getting my dividers done. Say I will need some more. I've only got enough to do up to, I think, about 500, but I can always add in the rest later. And I'm not sure how far I'm going to get with the stickers either. I know some people have done them over quite a few days. Putting the stickers on the cardstock, it does take quite a little bit of time, but it looks so pretty, and I'll be so glad to get some of these bags moved out of my Amazon box and into the boxes they're supposed to be in. I think my squares will be a little bit tighter for space than my rounds because I do have more squares, but I think they will still fit in the 2 boxes, or at least I hope so, because the decision's been made now. I'm going for 2 separate boxes. Okay, so my double dividers are done, and last time when I cut, I'm not sure what this, oh, this must have just been a remnant, but I need to cut some stickers for going over the top. So the width of the foam board is 2 1/4 inches. So I want to cut them 2 1/4 inches across. And then how wide was that one? So that one is 1 inch wide. I want these to be a little bit wider because I'm going over 2 pieces of foam board. So I'm going to go for, did I go for 1.5 inches then? Yeah, my brain forgot what I actually... Let's try it. Let's try 1.5 inches and see if that looks good. So this is just sticker paper. It's an A4 sheet, a full sheet. It's not pre-cut into any size. It's just a full sheet of sticker paper. 1.5 inches might be wider than I need actually. So I stick it over the top and then I fold down each side, and it just gives me a nicer, neater edge for things to go on. In fact, no, that might work. Let's go for 1.5 inches. So I need 5. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. So that works for today's ones. Of course, I will need to cut more when I'm able to do more foam board, but I can do that off camera. So let's pop these on and then I get to make it pretty. This makes it a little bit pretty, but I'll get to make it prettier. And prettier is always good. So just fold that over, so it just hides that foam board look and makes it look like it's one piece rather than 2 pieces. Cut the best I can because foam board is not the easiest to cut and sandwich together with a bit of double-sided tape. Just makes it a little bit nicer to look at, which I'm all for it looking a little bit prettier. I have been meaning to get this, or at least start on this squares box for a couple of weeks now, and I've just not got around to it. But the square that I have finished, so I finished the Home Fun Succulent at the beginning of January, and the box with the diamonds in has been floating around my craft room ever since. And it's just, I much prefer to get things away, especially when I'm coming in and I'm tidying up the craft room, etc. Especially because it's launch weekend this weekend. I am actually filming this the day the video goes up. I need a tidy space before I start packing bulk orders. Okay, so I've got 5 ready, and then what I do in the sticker sheet on the last page, there is some blanks and there is some with colour names on for doing your special diamonds. But what I want is this sticker that says 100s. And this is my divider sticker. And they're a little bit shorter than the actual divider. And they are a smidge longer. So what I am going to do is it's not quite long enough to fold over, but it's short enough, look, it's wafer, that it could end up catching on something and pulling the sticker off, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to trim it off. I know some people use 3 pieces of foam, but I'm trying to create as much space as I can. So now I've got a divider that says 100s. Let's do the other dividers while I've got this sticker sheet out, or at least the ones I can do. And then I can put them in as and when I go along, as and when they're needed. Oh, let's try putting that straight. Find that might help matters. And I'm just using the edge of the foam board for my scissors to make sure that I get that straight edge, because it looks nicer when it's straight. 300s. And that sticker wasn't straight either. Let's try that. I'm going to have lots of little bits of stickers sticking to my scissors. Let's try and get them off when they group together. So that's 300s. 400s. Okay. Let's try popping this one. Is that flat? Oh, that's close enough. I was trying to see if I could get away with only cutting one side of the sticker straight. And I nearly have, I just haven't quite lined it up properly. So 400s and then 500s. We'll see how long it takes me to get up to the 500s in the sticker and see if I end up stopping there or if I end up going on. But I have scheduled it in to do more of these videos if required, to the point that I get my spares sorted, and then I can dekit the painting that has been sat there. Okay, so I have my dividers, and now it's time to get my stickers ready. So B5200 is the first sticker. I did used to keep a B5200 at the front of my stickers because it is sort of, because it's got the B, it was the first sticker or the first one. However, I have now moved it to the back because a lot of the companies that I use that give me diamonds in B5200 put them last. So I have moved it to the back. So I'll put the sticker there. What I've also found, and what other people have found when doing this, because it is a full sheet of stickers, and they are, say, they are all pre-cut, people have found it easier to take off this whole outer piece and just leave the stickers behind. And it makes it easier when you're then peeling them off. Let me see how this works. Now, if you don't have full sticker paper, just a little side note, if you don't have full sticker paper to cover your foam board, you can use these edges on our sticker sheets and cut those edges off first, and that will allow you to back your foam board. Just trying to make sure that all the stickers stay stuck for now. There we go. And now these will be really easy to peel off because I'm not fighting with the sticker sheet around it. Oh, so pretty. So 150 in. And because of the way that I've cut the foam board, the tab for the 150 is above not only my foam board segment, but above my section for 100, so that I can clearly see the number. Now, as I said, I am using the cardstock that we sell in the shop. When it arrives with you, you do get it packaged nicely. So you get 4 of these with 100 in and 2 with 40 in. So you get 480 sheets, which is enough for a full pack of stickers. So it will do all your DMC. It will also do your 100s, 200s, and it will do your colours as well. Just in case you were wondering if you get enough, especially because I'm not taking this straight out of a pre-packaged one, but I can assure you, you do get enough. You get 480 pieces, and I haven't got my phone with me to do the math on exactly how many stickers are on the sheet. There's 54 per sheet, but there is a few blanks on the last sheet. And I can't remember how many pieces you end up with left. Left once you've done the DMC numbers. I think DMC numbers is the 452 or 453 is in my head, but I could be losing it because it's a very, very busy day today. 17 minutes already, and I'm only just putting diamonds in. One other thing to note, if you do purchase our cardstock, it does have a texture on one side. I'm not even sure if the light's going to pick it up, but it does have a linen texture on one side and then is smooth on the other side. It's not a huge thing whichever way round you do it. It's not like you see a lot of the cardstock when it's in your spare storage. It's not like you see loads, you mainly see the label. But if you do like those extra little touches, like the nice texture showing, then primarily it is packaged with the texture all being the same way. Occasionally though, occasionally there might be one that is the wrong way round, so just double check it. I try my best not to when I'm packing it, but occasionally it happens. But more often than not, I like it all being one way round, so I make sure that I pack it all one way round. Okay, so we're still on the hundreds, and I am moving each of my square bags over at the same time. Helps me to determine space. And my bags do already have the small DMC labels on in square because I did have them in another box. So I actually have a video on me changing the stickers on all my baggies. In fact, that was an epic video if you like watching storage ones. I put the nice small DMC stickers both in round and in square, because we do the labels in both sizes. both shapes, sorry. And I spent a whole video, or in fact quite a few videos, putting the diamonds into thicker baggies that I was gifted by Diana. So these thicker baggies, which are linked on the website, I put them into thicker baggies and I put the new stickers on them. And that took quite a long time, quite a while, especially because I was moving from one bag to another bag. It made it longer. And yeah, it took a while. And of course, if you're first setting up your storage and haven't adopted this system before, or maybe you're new to diamond painting and have only just started saving your spare diamonds, then doing it right the first time will save you loads of time. Loads and loads of time. So 167. So nice to start getting these out of that box. It really is. 168. You can see quite a few of my bags are very full when it comes to these. And it is easier to take that outer sticker sheet off for definite. 169, which is just an empty bag. And then I want the 200s. So my 200s divider goes into my box. And then there's less 200s in DMC numbers used in diamond painting. So it should be quite a bit quicker before I get to my next divider. It's like a little mini goal. Can I get to the next divider? It's like, woohoo, success! So 209, 210, 211. This is quite a nice little process to maybe do in front of the TV, or maybe you feel like you need a break from your diamond painting, but still want to do something related to diamond painting. Sometimes it's just the mood that takes you, isn't it? Sometimes you just want to do something that is related to your hobby and you know what you enjoy doing, but you're not quite in the mood for actually diamond painting at the time. And if that's the case, then doing the likes of your spare storage, or maybe kitting up a new project if you're close to needing a new project kitted up, it can enable you to do something that is, you know, still enjoyable, still to do with your hobby, but is not actually diamond painting. Okay, my 300s divider has gone in. I'll have to compare this when I've got a row or so done. I'll have to compare this to my rounds and see how far my dividers go in my rounds, as to whether I've got a hope of getting all my squares in 2 boxes. I really hope I do, because I don't particularly want a 3rd box. Mainly 3rd box for my squares, mainly because they fit nice on my shelf in 2s. I rearranged my shelves. Memory card saved. It's really, you know, time flies when I'm doing these videos sometimes. Yeah, I rearranged the shelves in my craft room to take into account the fact that I wanted an extra photo box, because I'm very limited on storage. I have a very small craft room, so I'm quite limited on what I can store. So I wanted to whittle it down, you know, and rejig everything to be able to get the extra ones in. Right, 310, I do have a very, very huge bag of 310, but I do also keep one small bag in my spares. So for my spares, I did take the decision that I will not have more than one bag per colour, per DMC number. The only exception is colours that I am using in a Heaven and Earth design cross stitch that I'm doing, because I'm using my spares to do it. So of course I may well need those diamonds. So that most of those are stored in another box, and I keep all my Heaven and Earth design diamonds that I need in a completely separate photo box. It's like a project box. And black is in my Heaven and Earth design, which is why I'm keeping them. But because I have so many, and I'm talking a ridiculous amount, so many, I did decide to fill a bag in my spares storage, because, you know, that would help me space-wise and know that once I've finished my Heaven and Earth designs, or when I finish using black in my Heaven and Earth designs, any others can be gifted out. If I ever decide to do another Heaven and Earth design project, after I've finished the 2 or 3 that I've already got, because I do have a blank canvas from them as well, if I ever decide to do any more, I do that much diamond painting that I will just start saving again. Because as I say, I'm very, very limited on space. And while I did used to keep all of my spares, I find that now it's just not practical for me to keep all of them. And something had to give. So limiting myself to 1 bag for each colour is my limit. Now some of them I've not even hit. Some of these are empty because the actual diamonds that would go in them are in my Heaven and Earth design projects. Some of the colours, so I think 317, which is a grey, that is in my Heaven and Earth design project. I know it is. So the bag in here is empty because they're all in my projects box. But when I finish that project, I will transfer up to a full bag's worth, and then that's it. Because if I ever need diamonds, the other main reason that I keep spare diamonds, not only the project that I'm doing, is I keep spare diamonds in case I ever have a canvas that doesn't have enough. And I have had that a few times. I have had that 2 or 3 times. I've received a canvas. All the diamonds that are supposed to be in it have been correct. However, however the company did it, or whether they were very close in numbers, I was actually short of diamonds. Only by normally 10 or 20. We're not talking huge amounts of diamonds, but I was short of some diamonds. And because of that, I needed to dip into my spares for some, and it saves me waiting for potentially a Chinese company if that's where I bought it from. Quite often the ones that I have been short of have been bought from AliExpress. I don't have to wait for the spare diamonds to get to me. Oh, 1 sticker sheet down and done. Okay, let's have a look. Where are we up to? I'm trying to work out if it is going to be 1 sticker sheet or maybe more. So we have 8.5 sticker sheets that need to go in the boxes. So that's sticker sheet number 9. So there's 8.5 full sticker sheets, but I only have 6 dividers. So really, I do need to get a few more in here. How many did I get up to with my rounds? So with my rounds, I got up to 372 in that box. So that's down here. I got the rest of the 300s in. So let's see if I can in my squares. If I can't, I can't. But if I can, all the better. Oh, I need to peel that outer sheet off. Let's do that. In fact, if I've taken one off, that might be easier. Let's see if I can get one side off. Just making sure when I pull across it doesn't pull the next sticker up, because I don't want to ruin a sticker. So slow and steady, and then get in a mess. Just throw that in my bin and hope it doesn't stick to it. Okay, 350. So if I can get to 300s, I want this going the same way. Look, quite a lot of these are empty, so it should be easier to get them all in the same. I have still got room. I'm not yet squooshed. Definitely not as squashed as I was on my last spares box. And I've got another one that's empty. Of course, some colours I tend to get more of than others. And some of these are in, I say, my projects box, because they are being used. So nice to get these done. Check, yeah. Still got plenty of room. There's hope. My rounds box can maybe be my guide to seeing if I can fit everything in. And I do still have the option to potentially remove these dividers if I want more space. I can also remove the ones at the end and at the beginning. So in effect, at the beginning here, I have one piece of foam board and then two pieces of foam board. So I could quite easily take out that one piece of foam board and still be able to see all my little dividers. And I can also take out the back piece of foam board without it stopping me from seeing the labels as well. So if I do find it starts getting too full, I can do that. But I'm nearly there. Got about 4 more to go. And of course I am taking more space because of the fact that I am putting the bags in. So if you have even more limited space than I do, maybe consider only putting in cardstock and bags for diamonds that you do have spares of. I do find the process easier to just do them all. So time saving wise, it's a lot easier to just put all of your diamonds in the spares, all of them done and away. It's definitely a lot easier to do that. However, sometimes you have to go with the longer route due to the space that you have, and that's a fair point. Okay, so they have all fitted in. I have got wiggle room, and I can always shove things further over when I get near the end if I find I have more room later. So let's put in my 400s and see how far I can get now. So that was one row of this. 400 is an empty bag, and I know I have that in my Heaven and Earth design already. It's a colour I remember because there's a fair amount of it. So maybe I'll have more transferring over later. 407. So for anybody that has not seen me work on my spare storage yet, which I have now, I think, got to the point of I'm happy with it and it's perfected. So it's the best route to follow if you want to set up your spare storage and not touch it again. I seem to be always chasing the idea of making it prettier and making it more perfect, but I do that with a lot of organisation in a lot of different places. I do constantly, you know, evaluate if it's still working for me, change it if it's not. and my spare storage is one of them, but I think I'm more hitting the sweet spot now. Having the labels on both the cardstock and the baggies, the pretty labels that I have, that has been the best thing I've done to make me really happy with the storage. Because, you know, it looks nice, it looks organised. That's been my best move. The splitting up my squares and rounds, so I have squares in one box and rounds in another, does take more labels, does take more cardstock. As you can tell, I'm doing a second set now. It is personal preference. Ever since I created this storage system, probably about 4 years ago now, ever since I first created the system, I have had my rounds and squares together. And I think I may have once tipped squares into a round bag or vice versa. I'm not quite sure, but I may have done it once. If not, I've definitely come close. And I know some people have mixed up the wrong diamonds in the wrong bags. So having them separate eliminates that. I think my main reason for splitting them though is when I'm dekitting. It's so much easier to be dekitting rounds or squares rather than, you know, and just get out the 2 boxes. So I'd be getting out 2 boxes to dekit my squares or 2 to dekit my rounds, which saves me having to open 3 or 4 boxes if I kept them all together. So if I just had one set of dividers and then my rounds and my squares in bags, I would have to get out all 4 boxes in the process of dekitting to reach all the DMC numbers. Whereas now I only have to go to 2 of them because they're all in smaller boxes. Even if I have to go into a 3rd box for squares, it's still better than having to go into 4 boxes when I'm dekitting. It's a lot quicker, and that is the process that I like. Plus, if I ever wanted to check, you know, if I'd got any spares for any particular reason, I'm going into less boxes to check how many I may or may not need. I do keep cross-checking the numbers as I'm popping them away as well, just to check I am picking up the right bag. But when I took them out of my rounds box, I did put them into this Amazon box in order. Ooh, I'm up to 500s already. So let's pop in another little divider and start on 500, which is a green. And I think I got some 600s, I think maybe even 700s in this box with rounds. But we'll see how we go. See how far I manage to get today. And I also keep looking at the time because I need to make sure that this video can be edited, processed and uploaded in time. But last night was a lot of preparation ready for shop launch. So, shop launch, which is the launch of all the new products. That was yesterday. So last night I spent a lot of time doing that preparation and didn't get a chance to film this video earlier. But that's all okay. I did nick myself though with a blade, and it was only a little trimmer blade. I was preparing bookmarks and managed to nick myself, so I do have a war wound from preparation, but these things happen. Okay, 519. I get in there. Nearly 2 sheets out of 9 down, so what's that? Still not quite a quarter of the way through. but it's quite a quick process when I get going. You can potentially, if you've not created any sort of spare storage yet, you could possibly save a little bit of time getting a bit of a production line going. So rather than moving your bags and your cardstock all at the same time, maybe sit there one evening just putting the stickers on the cardstock as the first step, and then, you know, the next step, maybe you sticker up your bags, and maybe, you know, put them in the box at that time. Just find yourself a nice little rhythm where you're sat there comfy. I'm stood up, so I feel like I'm not so much on a therapeutic stick stickers and make a little pile. I'm more on a active doing, and that sticker's not straight, and that'd drive me up the wall, because that is also 5500, which is a very popular colour, so it would stare at me every time. There we go. So just a little bit straighter, but it's not taking too long. It's not going too bad. It helps that these are all in order for me, and that, I say, the baggies are already done, so that step of the process has been done. But you could flip between one and the other. If that's it, I think some of it depends on how your brain works as well. So sometimes when I'm doing organisation, if I hadn't, say, set up a spare storage box at all, sometimes I prefer to just sit there and, you know, peel off the sticker for the DMC and then the sticker for the bag and put them in the box at that time, because then I feel like I'm making progress, more progress than just having a pile of cardstock with all the stickers on it. Sometimes my brain prefers that way of organisation, and sometimes it's like, no, I want this production aspect done and then the next. It really depends. How pretty. Okay, get back to it. Get back to sticking stickers. I'm only kind of gutted that I've not got more foam board. I have got black foam board, but I think that's going to stand out like a bit of a neon light if I use black to do some dividers. So I think I'm just going to have to be good and go to the range, pick up some more white foam board, make myself some more dividers and just add them in afterwards. But at least I'll have, you know, my cardstock and my stickers done, which does take longer. And I might be able to actually dekit my Hom Fun painting that has been floating about. I've actually pinned it, I've actually hung it on a hanger. The actual painting itself that's finished, I've hung it on a hanger to get it out of the way, because I am finding it's losing the odd diamond. So I'm itching to get it away properly so that it doesn't lose any more diamonds. I can just get it in my binder, and it'll, you know, keep the diamonds on it in that way. But I am sick of seeing the box with the diamonds, because it's a job that I know I need to do, and I think that's what it is. Okay, so I'm up to 600. So where did I get up to 600s in here? So I got up to 600s part way through here. I got all the way to 699, and then the 700 started down here. So let's see if I can match it, bearing in mind I haven't got the dividers yet, so I may have to have a shuffle, but at least I've got a goal as where I'm trying to get to, and then we'll see how it works. Not having the dividers won't be too much of a problem for still putting things away. It won't be too much of a pain if they're not there. I never used to have them. When I first created the system, it was very basic in the fact that I only created bags when I needed them. I did all the cardstock, but all the cardstock actually just had a little sticker on it where I wrote the number. So I wrote the DMC number on it and I just put it on. It didn't have these pretty labels at the time I created it. The baggies initially just had square labels on every single one of them that I used. And I used to put a little R or a little S to tell me whether it was round or square. I then changed my baggie labels and used round labels for round diamonds and square labels for square ones. But they were still, you know, they were still the basic labels that I wrote them on. So if pretty labels, you know, maybe isn't something that you can afford, or you don't want to spend your money on as much as you can't afford, you can still use just standard labels. That's what I started with. I just use it so much because I do quite a few paintings and I'm very often kitting up and kitting down for paintings. It makes me smile every time that I pull out my spare storage because it is pretty. So to me, it was worth doing. It was worth spending the time to make it pretty because I like pretty. Okay, I can tell you now, I'm not going to fit all the 600s in here the same way I did with rounds. Not in this one column because it's already getting rather full and it doesn't even have a divider in yet. And I've got to get all the way down here. So I'm going to go as far as I can and I will just have to do a box reshuffle, you know, and slide them over to where suits best when I've done them all. And when I've got the foam board to do the dividers, and I'll get a reshuffle and figure out what's best and where. Because it may be that I don't have as many diamonds in bags for numbers higher up for square maybe. But it's definitely getting a lot fuller. And it's not even got the cardstock in the empty bag in yet, never mind a full bag. Okay, I'm going to stop there with 600s. Because there's no point in fighting when I'm going to have to sort of scoot things over later. It's just not fight. It's been another 20 odd minutes because my memory card's saved again. Time flies when you're organising, or at least it does for me. Time flies by. I think I'm going to get to the end of this box. See how full I can get this box and call that today's video, because I don't have all the time in the world today to do a mammoth long video. So I think I'm just going to have to be satisfied with getting 1 out of 2 boxes done, and then stay tuned for the next video, which will be hopefully next week. Because as I say, I want to get this done. So join me next week and see if it all fits in together. But don't go yet. I've still got a bit to do yet. So that is the end of the 600s. And I don't think I was going to fit that stack in there. Especially considering I've not got the foam board in. Let's see how many sticker sheets I can get through in one box. What do I need to get through? I need to get through 4.5 sticker sheets. Really? 4 and a bit. 4 1/4 sticker sheets. to hopefully be able to fit everything in 2 boxes if the amount of diamonds I have are equal. Let's see how close 4 1/4 sticker sheets are. I need to have a look at the number it takes me to. I'll have a look when I finish this one. Because this is sticker sheet number 3. And I might still fit the 4th in. Because it's going fairly quickly. Getting a little rhythm with me sticking of stickers. It's definitely easier taking that outer sheet off though. Taking the outer sheet of stickers off and just leaving the stickers on. It's a lot easier to grab hold of the edge. But if you do want to use part of the stickers that you get for your foam board sheets, then do make sure that either you cut them off first before you peel the rest off. Or do your foam boards beforehand so that you've pulled any stickers off you want before you take the top coat off. Because trying to deal with it once you've pulled it off is not pretty. It's not good fun at all. Oh, we've got a few empty bags. They take up less room. Though I'm sure I'll be filling them soon enough. I will end up in three square boxes before I end up with 3 round, I think. Because while I do quite a few round paintings, most of my big paintings, or a lot of my big paintings, are squares. And I do have a lot of my square diamonds already in my Heaven and Earth designs. So when I finish my Heaven and Earth designs, I reckon that's when I'll have to move to 3. Because I think by the time I put anything that's left in my squares box, it's going to get to the point of bursting. Maybe that could be my big next spares update or spares project. Whenever I finish my Heaven and Earth designs, which could be years away, the rate it's going. Yeah, by the time it's like years away, it might be that I get a 3rd box and move things over little bit by little bit. Okay. Sticker sheet number 3 is done. Now, having a look here, so there is 7 rows of stickers on the last one. So I need 3 or 4 rows I need to be able to get. So I need to be able to get up to about 840 to have split it down the middle between 2 boxes. I don't know whether I will. Let's see how we go. Let's take off this top layer. Just going slowish. Just want to check that I'm not pulling any stickers off with it. It's a little bit fiddly, but not too bad. Ta-da! And then it makes life easier. I have got my B5200 there as well, ready for my last box. Forgot about that. I'm going to need more cardstock as well before I finish this, but I just grabbed a handful. Grabbed a handful of cardstock rather than taking it out of packaging. Seems a little bit pointless. It's popped in packaging, of course, for shipping and for neatness for whenever you guys are ready to actually get your spare storage ready. But for me, we've recently had another shipment of cardstock in, and it's all been cut and is ready for the packing process. So I decided to pinch some before it went through the packing process, because that would be time that I would be spending packing it and then spending unpacking it. Every now and then I take the diamonds out before I put the sticker on, and it confuses me. Okay, I feel good. It's getting somewhere. I still don't think I'm going to get as many in each box as I want to, but I'm not going to know until the end how full it truly is and whether it is achievable or not. We'll just have to wait and see. So I know there's been a few people doing their spare storage recently, getting themselves set up. Hopefully you've learnt from me, learnt the tips and tricks to the point that you can get your storage set up, and it's a one-time process. It's a one-hit wonder, should we say. And everything is neat, tidy, and you've got plenty of boxes. And you can always expand the boxes as you go along. To expand the boxes is quite easy once you have done all your cardstock and bags first, because all you need to do is create the foam board for a box and just move everything over. It's a lot quicker process. I'm doing this full process because I've decided to split my squares and my rounds, which I've never done before. I've always had them together. It's always worked together, but by taking the time to do this, I will definitely save time when it comes to dekitting. And it makes my heart happy. I like to have things in order. Definitely makes my life easier. I feel like I'm more productive if things are in order. I just wish I had the time to put everything in order. Because at the moment it seems like there's a lot of things that aren't in order. So if I can gain control of my spare storage and get these out of an Amazon box, which I'm not liking, if I can get these out of an Amazon box, I will not only free up the shelf where this Amazon box has been, which will make tidying up easier because it's been squoze on the shelf, but I will also feel better myself that job's done, and I can get my Home Fun painting dekitted. I think it's probably been the longest I've ever had a painting sat there waiting to be dekitted, considering I finished it in December or January, and we're now in February, and it's going to be at least another week because I'm only doing one squares box each week, which is good. It breaks up the process, doesn't make it as, you know, doesn't make the process feel like a chore if I break it up. And that's the thing as well, you don't want the process to feel like a chore, so it can be really nice to do as not a break from diamond painting. Yeah, I suppose just to diamond painting, I love doing, and I can sit and do it for hours, but I do need to get up and move, and you know, it might just be a load of washing, putting a load of washing on, moving about, making a drink, and then going back to diamond painting. You know, that sort of process of doing everything can be enough of a break from diamond painting. But maybe, you know, you're just not in the mood, or maybe you don't have loads of washing and stuff that needs doing. Maybe you could just pop your spares, you know, your spare storage stuff on a table, or have a designated little zone for it. And when you fancy just getting up and taking just 5-10 minutes away from diamond painting, go put a few labels on, maybe label up a few bags, maybe pop them in your storage, and then just go back to diamond painting. There's no rule on how long it should take for it all to be done. So sometimes you can enjoy the process more if you do it in bits and pieces. Okay, this box is getting very close to being full. And that is up to the 800s, and I think that has probably, I could possibly fit a few more in. But I think considering I've not got my dividers in, I'm going to be pushing it a bit too much. So I think I'm going to call that one done. Now, I do have a little bit of hope in the fact that I have 2 rows left in this Amazon box and a little bit down the side. So it may be that this is where most of my volume of diamonds are. And I very well may still be able to fit the rest into one box. Considering I've still got some of sheet 4 left. So I do have quite a few sheets left to go. But yeah, I think that is pretty much full. Like comfortable full to add more diamonds to full. So I think I'm going to save it for the next box. Earlier than I expected, but I think it's the right thing to do. I'm pretty much halfway through my Amazon box, so it may well still work, and yeah, we'll just see how far I get. I will need to make sure that I keep these, of course, to make my dividers when I get some more foam board, because I've not been that organised enough to get it all ready. Yeah, I'm going to stop because it's halfway, and if I keep sticking stickers now, this video is not going to get uploaded for 4 o'clock. So thank you for joining me for the first box of squares. I hope you'll join me, say should be next weekend, and I'll see if I can get the rest of it finished. And then I can get some paintings dekitted. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.